All right, I hear you. You guys keep asking for this video, so let's make some salt. We're gonna go over two methods for distilling sea salt today. For both of them, you're gonna need a big pot, a big container, a whisk, a strainer, and some paper towels. And if you have them laying around, a kitchen thermometer and scale can be very helpful, but they are not necessary. The first method is easier, but it is gonna require you to have an air fryer in this style. You'll also need a spatula. The second method is definitely more involved, but you're gonna get more delicate, higher quality sea salt, and for that, you're also gonna need a pan, a stove, and a slotted spoon. And if you're nothing without internet validation, a camera doesn't hurt either. When you're ready to start collecting the salt, you're gonna look for a rocky coastline like this with many tide pools, ideally far enough from the water that high tide waves can splash water into it, but the high tide water level is still below. That way, after a few days of low surf, the water will evaporate and you'll be left with salty little pockets like this. And if you get really lucky or you know your land well, you can find one like this. And once your salt is collected, you're ready to get going. So put your container on the scale and tear it out. Then put a few big scoops of salt into your container. And then we're gonna add hot water till the salt is 36% of the weight. Now we're gonna stir it up till there's no more solids left on the bottom. And now that we've got this at 36% salinity, we can start straining it to get rid of the physical debris. First, we're just gonna pass it through a metal strainer, and after that, we're gonna pass it through 1, 2, and 4 layers of paper towel. And remember to rinse out the container you just emptied after each pass. And now that the water's clear and clean, we can transfer it to a pot and bring it to a boil. After it's been boiling for a while, it'll start to look thicker and you'll see some solids on the top, and then you're ready to rock. All you gotta do is dump about 1 centimeter of that liquid into your air fryer pan, put it at 170 on dehydrate, and let it go for about 3 to 4 hours. Oh, you're next gonna wanna forget about it for a few days. Come downstairs a little hungover, pour yourself a cup of coffee, and wonder what's this mess covering the counter? Remember, you're making a salt video and realize that the salt has corroded through the baking pan and the air fryer. And now the liquid spilled out onto the counter, but it looks like we did get some salt to crystallize, so we'll keep pushing. There's a lot of minerals in Hawaiian water besides salt. There is sulfur, it's gonna be this kind of yellow tinge, and calcium, it's gonna be the whiter stuff. And you wanna try to get rid of that because it's gonna make your salt taste bitter. At this point, if you wanted to go for that really flaky shard-like texture, you could try to extract that from the sides. But since this is the easy method, I'm just gonna show you how to do it the quickest way possible. So from here, set up a bowl filled with some rinsing liquid. It's just room temperature water at 36% salinity. Set your strainer in there. And prep a small collection bowl with a few paper towels. Salt is of course water soluble, but because this is already at maximum salinity, it won't break down our salt crystals too much, and it will rinse off a lot of the calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. And now for the next half hour or so, we'll just keep changing out these paper towels every 5 or 10 minutes. Once you've let this dry for a few days and the paper towels are no longer damp, you're ready to start sorting it out into the different grain sizes. I like to do that by passing it through 4 different strainers with different size holes, and that'll give us 5 different grains of salt. Paper plates are really helpful here. Strainer number 1. Strainer number 2. Strainer number 3. Strainer number 4. And then all this that can pass through the 4th strainer is going to be our final grain. So the first and largest grain we make here, I call it chunk. It's really big, pretty square pieces, but they can be irregular size. Honestly, obnoxiously large. I can't find a reasonable purpose for it. This is rock salt. It's good for finishing baked goods, bagels, and steak. Just adds a nice little bite, some texture. This is coarse salt, and these next 3 are going to be getting into the cooking category. You can finish with this one as well. Pretty nice. Kind of the same use here on kosher, just a little smaller grain and a little more irregular shape. And then this is fine salt. It's just really pretty much table salt with little shards and stuff like that. Good for cooking. And here's the method I use to keep it all organized. Here we've got our rock salt. So this label means it was made in the air fryer. It can pass through 1 level of strainer. And yeah, I call it rock salt. For this method, you can take your good-to-go liquid, pour it into a big wide mouth pan. Ceramic is best just for corrosion. And after a little bit, you'll start to see salt crystals forming on the top. And this is what we're going after. It is called fleur de sel, and it is the highest grade of flaky sea salt you can make. That's because once it sinks down, it has more opportunity for calcium and those other bitter minerals to latch onto it. We will rinse it off afterwards, so we can still collect that, but we will keep the really good top layer of fleur de sel separate from the rest. You'll have to be gentle when you're scraping the surface so you don't disturb the tension so much that the rest of the salt there falls to the bottom. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just collect from the bottom when necessary to make sure it doesn't get too crowded in there. Replace some water when it evaporates off, and you can do this as long as your patience allows you to. Now that it's dry, let's see how we did. So this is gonna be the stuff that sank to the bottom, the other. And this is gonna be that awesome, great stuff. I call it snow. Here is our sunken batch. And here's our top layer batch. The other day I was showing one of these uncles I work with the salt collection and processing, and he said, hey, that's really cool, but the tide pool you pulled it from looks really clean. You can just get it straight out of there, dry it, and it's good for use. Why are you wasting so much time processing it? So, also that, if you can find a tide pool clean enough, just don't scrape from the very bottom of it, and yeah, I guess you don't have to waste a week cleaning it.